Content warning. This anime contains sensitive topics such as intense gore, sexual assault, and suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. High-Rise Invasion is a 2021 Netflix original anime that just came out, and I have thoughts. Based on a manga with the same name, our story follows Yuri Hanjo, a Japanese high school girl who finds herself in a strange space surrounded by skyscrapers, each skyscraper connected to each other with big suspension bridges. They are trapped up here because there is no way down. If you try to take the stairs, there's a big block that'll just prevent you from going out onto the main streets. She then quickly also discovers that she's surrounded by masked figures. Figures wielding swords, guns, and all types of weapons. These masked figures, or masks as the show calls them, have one goal: to make you give up on life and jump off the high rises to your fate below. It is explicitly stated repeatedly in the show that these masks do not intend to kill. Their only goal is to make you want to die. As we'll come to discuss, this rule is very loosely followed. Yuri discovers that she's not alone in this world also. It's not just the masks. Her brother also exists in this realm as well, and she quickly finds other people trying to survive, like the cold-blooded Mayuko Nisei, who Yuri forms a fast friendship and bond with. Together they traverse through these high-rises trying to locate Yuri's brother and trying to find a way to get back to the normal world. Along the way, they are pursued by a number of masks, including Sniper Mask, a dapper-looking mask who has a sniper rifle and can do some crazy sniper stuff. This anime is trash. There's not really a whole lot of nuance I can give to it. This is a trash anime. You know, I feel like I've been spoiled over the past few years. I'm really selective in the kind of anime that I watch, and this is one that I just saw on Netflix. It was recommended to me by the algorithm, so I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna watch it. And all I could think of while I was going through it is I haven't seen High School of the Dead in forever. This is crazy. If you're lucky enough not to know, High School of the Dead is a zombie anime from a few years back that is well known for its plot. While High-Rise Invasion has a very unique and interesting setup, its execution just immediately goes downhill. First off, it faces a very typical anime problem of being large exposition dump after exposition dump, and there's at least one exposition dump an episode, and they're always awkward and time-killing. Second, there is a large amount of just panty shots. There's so many panty shots. I'm gonna try to avoid showing them in this, but there are so many panty shots, it's ridiculous. Mayuko has her shirt torn in like the third episode of the series, and it stays that way for the majority of the season. Yuri has a high rip in her short skirt, and that also stays for the entirety of the season. This is the kind of anime that makes it hard to recommend anime to people. I have dedicated a large part of my channel to finding and recommending anime that I think is appropriate for a large amount of people, and that I have a great amount of affection for. What makes it so much harder to get people on board is that the idea of what anime is to most people is High-Rise Invasion. A weird, crazy, bloody plot with a bunch of fan service and inappropriate scenes and panty shots and sexualization of young women. The pacing of this anime is also just terrible. Having all these exposition dumps is a large part of it. Just having to sit through and wait while people explain things is frustrating. And also there is just the rules of this universe that get set up at the beginning and that have been hammered in over and over again, that masks are not supposed to kill, they're only supposed to make you give up hope on living. They almost immediately undercut this by also saying, well, yeah, they'll kill if you don't show any signs of giving up on life. And that just ruins everything. The very, very first thing you see when you start this anime is a mask killing somebody, immediately undercutting that idea that they don't kill unless they have to. So why make a rule like that? So they can basically say, well, the main character didn't die here because they were trying to get them to give up on life, and the masks kill these characters in this way because that's just more interesting and we didn't want to, have to follow the rules are created for this world. They then also set rules about how you can't take off the masks and how you're trapped in them, and these rules also get undercut. Basically every rule they set up gets broken very quickly. And it comes to this problem where you have an anime that's trying to be horror based, right? And trying to have specific rules for their world. And in a lot of stories, you set up rules for your world, how things work, and then you play with the expectation of those rules and how they interact with the world and how the characters interact with it, and then you can add twists on top of that. But you need to have those well established. Let's take an example of Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan has a world that has its own set of rules. There are Titans who are coming in to kill. There's 3 walls. There's this whole plot of how we humans have to fight against these Titans who are invading monsters, and this is the last of humanity. Over time, that narrative of the show gets challenged and taken down and challenged again, and that has made for a very compelling story because you have constant twists that come in that change how you view the story. But those twists are well set up and are given a lot of time where the rules of this world are established, and when you break them, it then feels impressive. When you immediately break them though, then there's no point. There's no point at all. If your rules don't mean anything, then subverting those rules don't mean anything either. Attack on Titan made every time a rule was subverted be a major change in the story itself. After chapters upon episodes on episodes of seeing how the world works and changing the perspective on it, you feel the weight of that change in how you've been viewing the entire story. That is not how High-Rise Invasion works, because every rule is basically broken 5 to 6 episodes in. This is an incredibly frustrating anime to watch, and there's nothing in this that is out of the ordinary. There's nothing out here that is groundbreaking or is going to shake the world. This is basically High School of the Dead style anime, but in this high-rise setting. And again, the setting and the setup I think is really interesting. So having big fights on these high-rises and having to go between buildings and only being able to be on top, there's kind of reminds me of a stage in Splatoon, and you have all these characters with different powers and unique abilities, and that's interesting, but everything connecting to it, the characters are flat, the story has no weight or understanding of pacing, the animation is decent to standard. There's just nothing here that I can recommend to you. But if you're looking for an anime like High School of the Dead, and you want to go back to some of the more trash anime days, then hey, this is right up your alley, I guess. I mean, that's a really specific need, but here you are. With all that said, skip this anime. Unless you really like trash and you want to wallow in some trash, here's some trash for you. Get in there, you little goblins.